All right, so here's my inner panel. This is the cab corner which I installed. Now these two nuts right here that are welded to the bottom of the floor, I'm going to keep those because those are where the seat mounts from the inside of the cab, and those are where that bolts up. So this right here, I will keep this, but all of this right here from here down all along this lower cab and then up this cab side rocker to the bottom of the floor, all this right here needs to be covered up so there's no issue with any dirt, road grime, or any water getting up in here and having any future problems rusting out this cab corner. So I'm going to be putting a piece of steel from this bottom plate down that'll curve around and go all the way to this end. Then I'll be using a flat piece of steel and then make a template right here with cardboard. And if this right here was a bigger plate of steel, it will sit over top of this and it will curve up, and I'll weld it flat to this piece right here that I make, and then tack it after drilling some holes in the metal to this inner panel and then seam sealing it so that you don't have to worry about any water getting in. So the first thing it's going to be doing right here, make some little cuts, make sure this right here is flat, take this right here, take these nuts right here off using my air chisel, and then cleaning up any little bit of that rust right there that you can see so that there's no issue down the road with any further rust. Okay, now I'll be able to re-drill them holes from the inside whenever I got that in there, and these I can just simply reuse these, or if I want, I don't have to even worry about it. I just put washers with nuts and not even have to worry about putting this on there. This is going to be a piece that I'll have to sit all the way up against the cab corner. So using this old piece of cab corner, I can simply just make quick cuts. It don't have to be perfect. Just roll it around the inner corner. So make that cut. Okay, now this, once it's slid into here, it sits flat against that cab corner, so nothing can come into this lower piece. Okay, this right here does fit both sides. Here's my 16 gauge steel, which is real strong and sturdy enough to hold that inner panel straight. I'll start by getting it all the way up to this side. Use my paint marker. Okay, there's the first one right there. Now I've just got to cut that little line there. And it slides in. It's touching all the surfaces all the way around to the side, so that'll help strengthen up the cab corner. I've cut out that rust section right here at the bottom of the floor. Now, slid all the way up. I can just make me some marks for where I want to drill some holes. And the purpose of drilling the holes, that's where I'm going to make some spot welds. Using some Rust Performer Preventative Primer. Put my primer on there. I've also got my holes drilled. Now I've made this template to simply go around this cab corner and around this intersection, and then I'll be able to drill holes in it and weld it all the way around that cab corner, weld it solid to the rocker, make a patch for this section and this section to cover this in and box it, and then weld it around this inner floor piece that I just made. All right, here's the piece that I've traced out for one side. For the other side, go ahead and get these cut on my shear, and go ahead and cut right there out using my cutoff wheel, and then we'll mold these into place. This here is 18 gauge. I use the 16 gauge for the bottom to strengthen it up, but to make my bends easier around the corners, I use the 18 gauge. Here's the product that I've came up with. As you can tell, this used to be a lower door skin for a 53 through 56, and I used this material to cut up to make these pieces out of 18 gauge. So that's where this piece right here is going to go. So the best thing to do is just to bend it. I'm just going to use my leg here and just form it around. Alrighty, I'm sure it's overbent, but that'll be just fine. Alright. And what I'm doing right now, I mainly want to line this right here up with that piece right there. Try to get that part exactly where it needs to be. There it is. I've got all the holes drilled in, about an inch apart. I'm going to blow all this trash out from the grinding dust, and then I'll be placing this in here, and then once pushed into place, I'll be able to tack weld all along the bottom to that inner panel, just like that. Now, cut these little edges right here, and then sit that in and weld that right there to this rocker panel, and then make my little section here, cut this flat, and then box that in, and then that part right there will be ready for the finishing grind and then some seam sealer. I've got this brace in. Now I'm using some of this brushable seam sealer here. Just put it on the end of my brush. I'm just going to brush that seam sealer into those cracks. That'll help seal off all the little areas that are cracks from any kind of weather, water, anything that might get in there and cause rust to form. There you have it. You can see all the areas where there were weld, other than the side which I'm just shooting paint over. All those areas have been seam sealed. So there you have it. So what did look like that now looks like that. Well, that's it for this part of the video. I had several people ask about how I was going to be doing this on the bottom of this cab. Well, this is it. I went ahead and showed you my process of how I did it. Now I've got to go ahead and jump to that other side, but hit your subscribe and like button for my channel, and I'll see you on the next video.